people, welcome back to my channel. I'm Paige, this is Seeking Alexandria, and guys, today we are finally able to get into my favorite drugstore products of 2019. So for today, I'm going to be going through, obviously, and telling you my drugstore or more affordable hits for 2019. I'm actually going more by price point for those of you that are new. I don't view drugstore as just things that are found like in the actual drugstore. I include anything of a lower price point like Pixie or ColourPop or Flower Beauty, anything like that. Now, starting off with primers, I have two of them, and ironically enough, they are both from e.l.f., which I didn't realize until right now. But I have the e.l.f. Jelly Pop Dew Primer, and I have the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. This is, of course, the infamous primer that is a very close dupe for the Tatcha Silk Canvas, which I also use every day. This is actually a primer that I always point people towards if they are thinking about the Tatcha one, if they're like, oh wow, like I don't know if I would like it, and they kind of hem and haw. I will always point them towards this one just so they can get a feel for the type of primer it is, like how it works, because it's not a typical silicone dimethicone type primer. This is more of an actual putty type consistency, so it does have a different feel than what you're used to if you're going for a pore type filling primer. So this was definitely a top product for me in 2019, as well as the e.l.f. Jelly Pop Dew Primer. This is so nice. The way that it like sits on your skin, I actually was just kind of playing around with it a little bit a second ago while I was waiting to change out my camera stuff, and the consistency of this is so interesting because it does have like that like kind of thick, kind of goopy consistency. It reminds me a lot of the same consistency you get from the Milk Makeup Hydro Grip Primer, but for me this one is just it's very similar in consistency, but it doesn't have the same finish. This one does dry down and it doesn't leave you like super tacky for very long. So if you're wanting to play off of the tackiness, you have to work quickly, or you can just kind of press this into your skin and let it settle in. Real quick, before I move into foundations, I should have mentioned this a second ago when I started the video, that this full face, if you missed it, I will link for you a full face of new makeup, which I just filmed today, and you can check that out if you're curious. All I did after that video was put my hair up in a ponytail because I was having like a fibro moment and it was driving me crazy, and I threw on a different lip, which is actually the Milani Ludicrous lip in the shade 210 So Fly. I actually just tested these out in a full face drugstore or full face new makeup, something like that. Oh, it was new at Walgreens, I think, but I'll link it up here if you haven't seen that one. But I had to change it because, you know, I may or may not have eaten a KFC bowl, except I may and I did, and it was delicious, so I had to put on a lip. But anyways, let's go ahead and get into foundation, guys. I just know if I don't say something, somebody's gonna be like, girl, did you film that face for us? Like, we didn't see that. I want to see that. And then I gotta be like, yes, I did. It's there. So I always have to say it, but if you haven't seen it, you should check it out. I'm gonna kick this off with my favorite foundation, like bar none. It has been for a couple years running. I have bought this so many times, and it is the Catrice HD Full Coverage. I use it all of the time. I think this foundation is fan-freaking-tastic. It's actually a dropper type liquid foundation. It has amazing coverage. It stays beautifully on the skin. It settles in. It's just, oh my God. I can't say enough good things about this. And it just, I've talked about it so many times that I'm not going to drone on, but if you wear this alone, it's beautiful. If you use it as a mixer, it's equally as beautiful. And I just, oh my, like I could not, this is one of those products that like, I will have it until they discontinue it, and then I'll cry about not having it. That's how I feel about it. Like, I'm connected to it on a spiritual level. Catrice, don't ever discontinue this. I will be so upset. But anyways, I digress. Let's go ahead and talk about something else. So I love this foundation. I just mentioned I love it as a mixer. And one of my favorite things to mix this with is actually the ColourPop Pretty Fresh Tinted Moisturizer. I love this combo together because this tinted moisturizer from ColourPop, I have it in the shade Light 5N. This stuff is fantastic at evening out the skin tone. Obviously, it doesn't provide a ton of coverage, but the way that it like sinks into the skin, it gives you this beautiful glowy look. If you have dry skin and you like that lighter coverage, this is beautiful. For me, I don't have super dry skin, but I also don't have super oily skin anymore. I'm a lot more combo than I used to be. I have a lot more oil on my T-zone, but my outskirts of my face can get dry. And so taking this and adding in this Catrice, this combination, oh my God, like, mwah, 100 chef's kisses, girl. It looks so stunning. Do I even need to say more than hold this up in the air, guys? This is the L'Oreal Infallible Fresh Wear Foundation. It is in everyone's top product, or damn near everyone's top products of 2019. This product from L'Oreal just like slays the game. It is so good. They did it so well. It wears beautifully. It looks so much like natural skin, natural texture, natural everything, but it gives you beautiful coverage, like a nice medium coverage if you have like more redness. If you don't have like super red hyperpigmented areas, you can build this to a pretty decent coverage, almost leaning on full. For me, it's never been able to be full just because I do have really harsh redness on my skin, but this is so stunning. Like I'm not gonna sit here and drone on about this. I will easily tell you this is one of my favorite products that has ever come out of L'Oreal, especially in the last like year-ish. It's fantastic. One that I do want to put up before I forget is actually the NYX Born to Glow foundation. That is a stunning, stunning foundation. It wears very nicely. It has a really nice level of radiance. It's not too much, it's not too little, it's not like super dewy and like shiny in the way that like the Fenty hydrating one is, where just like it's overwhelming and it's like too dewy for a lot of people. The NYX one is a beautiful amount of light and lilt and hydration, and it looks gorgeous on the skin. It wears really well. It has a nice medium coverage, and I really like that foundation as well. I just can't find it because again, I've been really trying to clean up my beauty room, and in doing so, I just lost half the shit I own. So that's a beautiful one. Another one that's similar to that, that's from L'Oreal. I've been back into this Infallible Pro Glow. I used to be a pro matte girl back when, again, my whole face was oily, and this is just stunning, stunning. If you're looking for the other side of the coin, you want that glow. For me, this one does pull more glowy than the NYX Born to Glow, so just to give you a little reference point there, but it is a beautiful, beautiful foundation. The coverage is nice. It goes on like a light medium. I can build it up to an okay medium as long as my redness isn't like really, really red and inflamed, which, hello, fibro and brain tumor, it happens a lot. But I really love this foundation. There's not much to say about it. It wears beautifully, and it's a fantastic mixer for me as well. So I've really been reaching for that. And then to round out all of these foundations, I'm going to leave you with something that surprised the hell out of me, that I fell in love with it, and that is the L'Oreal True Match. Wow, I have 3 L'Oreal foundations in here. Whoops. I love this because it's not one way or the other on anything. Like, I describe this as such a nice normal foundation. It does look more like foundation than the Fresh Wear does, but it also gives you more coverage, or I wouldn't say more coverage actually. I think they're about the same, but it gives you more of an even keel for everything. It's not too dewy, it's not matte, it's just nice and right in the middle. And the application is beautiful, and just everything about this is stunning. It mixes well with so many, like every primer I've ever put with this, concealers, everything. It's a beautiful, universal, easy to use drugstore foundation, and you can really work with it, build it up, sheer it down, whatever you want to do. It's just freaking stunning. So all of the L'Oreals, I guess, worked for me because, girl, I'm just loving them, Bobby. They're gorgeous. All right, now moving into there, we have some concealers. I'm gonna buzz through these real quick. I have the e.l.f. 16-Hour Camo Concealer. Now, this one I'm putting in here for a couple of reasons. If you like a very like nice coverage, beautiful coverage, like damn near full on the under eye, or acne or what have you, if you like a matte finish and something that really just like sits down, this is a fantastic option for that, which is why I'm throwing it in here. At some points, depending on how dry my under eye was, I did have to play around with mixing it with other concealers to kind of soften up the harshness and like that dry down, but it's a beautiful coverage and it does go on nicely. In my opinion, if you're used to Tarte Shape Tape, this is more dry, so it's not quite as good, again, in my opinion, as the Tarte Shape Tape. Another one that I had a lot of success with, which really surprised me again, was the CoverGirl True Blend Undercover Concealer. And this one for me, out of all the concealers I tried this year, and everyone saying like, oh, this one's a dupe for Tarte, this one's a dupe for the Shape Tape, I would say that was really where I don't know who says that, but whatever. This one for me has been the closest to Tarte Shape Tape that I have found as far as consistency, application, even the doe foot on the end is very similar. Everything about this for me, very, very similar to Tarte Shape Tape. It doesn't leave any harshness. It's a very seamless type concealer, even though it does have a slightly matte undertone, which I appreciate. It's not an overtly matte undertone or feel to it like the e.l.f. one or like the Catrice one. It's a lot more subtle, but it does still have that dry down. Didn't I just say I wasn't going to give a full review of every damn product? Then, 10, 20, 30 minutes later, I'm through 2 categories. Good job, Paige. Well done. Well done. So now we're gonna move into cream products, and I have a few. I don't have a ton from the drugstore side, so I'm gonna breeze through these. I've talked about them a lot on my channel. This is, of course, the Catrice Triangle Contour Stick. Mine is a big old nasty mess, but this product is absolutely fantastic. It does feel, when you're playing with it, like it's very thick and very gummy, but ultimately what I find with this is that the color is beautiful, the payoff is stunning, and it blends so effortlessly, and you're really, really able to manipulate manipulate the product and the way that it applies to your skin. And for as thick or as like gummy as it feels in the tube, it really just applies and buffs out stunningly. And I really, really enjoy this. These I'm not even going to talk about, guys. It's the ColourPop blush and highlight sticks. I use them I don't know, every day. You've seen me talk about them a million times on my channel. This is my favorite blush stick that I pulled for this video. This is the ColourPop shade in 25-8, and I just freaking love it. It's so beautiful. I love the way that these work on the skin. And then this is my favorite freaking cream highlight stick I think that I've ever, no, it's my favorite one that I've ever found ever. This has such a beautiful way of being a standalone highlight if you want to lightly set your face and go. If you want to use it as a base for another highlight, you can do that too. It plays very well with others, very well with concealers and powders and everything that I put with this. It just stands up. It lasts all day. Like, girl, my cheekbone is blind. It is cutting bitches all day long. My cheekbone alone is cutting that line at Subway, honey. It don't mess around. And I freaking love it. Like, I can't get enough of these. I just said I wasn't going to talk about them and I did. What does that tell you, girl? I can't even shut up. I just love them. A couple more that I have loved and I've talked about a lot, so I'm not going to drone on. These are the NYX Bear With Me sticks. I have two shades. My favorite of the two is this one. This is the shade Do Me Right. Do me right. Wow, dirty. I always refer to them as almost like the popsicle stain of my face, like which sounds really weird. You can really adjust the amount of color, the intensity, if you want to build it up, if you want to sheer it down, whatever you want to do. And then of course, the last but not least, girl, I have the Flower Beauty Blush Bombs. I have all the shades of these. I've been talking about them for years. They are so amazing. The way that these apply to your skin, the way that they work into the skin, they have this really nice like gel consistency that at first you're like, oh girl, we're gonna have a problem. But when you work them out and actually like press and buff them in, they give the most beautiful hydrated look. Like, can you see that? Oh my God, it's so good. Real quick, just to get through powders, I have two also ones that I talk about from the drugstore all the time. This one will withstand my entire life as being a favorite from the drugstore, and that is of course the Maybelline Fit Me loose powder. I use the shade 05 Fair. They have it in this, they have it in a pressed powder. However you want to use it, this is fantastic. For me, this is like the quality of a high-end loose powder at a drugstore price point. I'm still amazed at how good this is, that more people don't talk about it. This is one of those powders that you can use it for so many things. I've used this for setting my face, brightening my face, baking over here, doing this, doing that, and it always has a way of settling in and just looking beautiful. It never leaves me with a weird cast, a chunky feeling, anything like that. It is just a beautiful powder. And then the other powder that I have is a pressed powder, and this is probably my favorite drugstore type pressed powder that I've ever purchased, and that is the Pixi Flawless Finishing Powder. I use this in Zero Translucent. I just used it yesterday. I use it, I mean, almost every day I do my makeup because you can do so much with this, and like the proof is in the pan, girl. I use it all the damn time. I like it for multiple things. You can use it as a finishing powder, similar to how I've said I use the Hourglass ones where I buff other products in and I use it to smooth things out. This is beautiful for that. I'll forever refer to this as my drugstore version of an Hourglass powder. It's not an exact dupe, but it is so beautiful on my skin. Again, whether you want to use it as a finishing powder like it's called out, or even for setting my skin, I'll use it for that sometimes if I need it to be set very lightly. I wish more people talked about this because if you've ever tried this and you love it, I want to know because I love it. Okay, so next up we have 4 of my favorite drugstore setting sprays, and just like in no particular order, but like God, I'm so glad I have this one. This is the NYX Bear With Me spray. It is so beautiful. It gives the most nice, like refreshing mist on your skin, but it also gives you a beautiful like light satin finish. So whether you just need like a little hydration, a little like zhuzh, it kind of reminds me of like the finish that I get from the Morphe setting spray, how it's just like that really nice drink. It's very refreshing and it just like lightly refreshes your skin. It doesn't go too far in one way or the other. I have a couple of sprays for that as well, so stay tuned for a second here. But it's just beautiful. It really is a multitasking spray, which is what it says. Next one that I have similar to that in the refreshing feeling and all of that is the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Cucumber 3-in-1 Primer Water. I really like these. The cucumber one is my favorite out of all 3. I believe they have a coconut and a rose and this one. But this one for me is actually very similar to a lot of stuff that I said about the NYX one. It's just very nice, refreshing on the skin. The same 3-in-1 Prep Set Refresh, so if you want to use it for that, you can. Just when your skin needs like that little hit, that little something, I forgot that the spray on this one is just a little bit more than the one from NYX, but nonetheless, it's a very nice, very affordable spray. And I do recommend it openly to people if you just want like a nice baseline spray. You don't need it to make you dewy, you don't need it to make you matte, you don't need it to do really anything, then refresh you. This is good for that too. My next two sprays could not be more opposite of each other because that's just how we roll. The one I've talked about for years on end, I'll never stop talking about it. It is a cult classic favorite, and that is the Catrice Dewy Go Setting Spray. I don't care that I've sprayed myself 45 times today, girl. This spray is so, so good. If you want to be dewy, you want to be glowy, you want to live your best hydrated life, honey, this is the spray for you. It's like $4.99, $5.99, something like that. It is amazing. I have multiple backups of this because when people, like when there's a run on this stuff, it just runs out and you can't get it for months on end. And I don't ever want to be in that position. So I have multiple. I love it. I swear by it. Let's go ahead and move on to my last spray. This one I was actually very excited to find and test out because for those of you that know, I have been using the Urban Decay All Nighter Setting Spray for years now. I really like it. It's a great lock everything into place setting spray. It gives you a matte finish. On me, it's not overly matte, but it really does just like press all your products together. And it's like like it's the muscle behind my makeup. Like at the very end, it's like that headlock that just, you know, you ain't nobody moving on this face. Like it's that for me. I was a little aggressive, but you get what I'm saying. And I've been looking for so long to find something that was, you know, similar or comparable from the drugstore. And guys, I finally found it. It's from Maybelline. It's their Lasting Fix Spray. This stuff is so insanely good. It has a very similar spray, a similar set for the face. It has a similar like matte dry down, which isn't overly matte. It's not aggressive in any way. It reminds me so much of the Urban Decay Setting Spray. I think if you are considering repurchasing the Urban Decay All Nighter before you spend the $32 maybe on that, give this a try. Now, going into blushes and other powder products, I have a fair amount. So I'm not gonna waste any time. I'm just gonna kind of go right into it. And these ones, I'm not gonna swatch all of them. I'm really going to rapid fire. So first things first, I of course have to pay my love, my homage, and my respect to none other than the Catrice blush boxes. These things are amazing. The consistency, the lightness, the way that they are so light and so fluffy goes on. It's very seamless. It doesn't take up any real estate in terms of thickness or chunkiness or powder, like powderiness, thickness, whatever you want to say. It just goes on and it's so light in the way that it feels on your skin. A couple more that I felt the same way about. We have the NYX Sweet Cheeks. I have them in matte and in glowy, multiple colors, very similar to Catrice. I was very much so into that like light, airy feel when in terms of like powder and density. And these ones from NYX, I used them so much. And then last but not least, honey, I could not get through my blushes without touching just for a second on the ColourPop Super Shock Cheeks. This was the collection that came out with their Sweet Talk palette or whatever. I've talked about that nonstop, so girl, we're not even gonna go there, but these blushes are so good. This one on top, ooh, wait a second, hold on. No Vacancy and Get Laid. No Vacancy was my absolute favorite. I used this in so many videos. People were like, Paige, put this away. Like you can actually see, I made a dent in it. I made a dent in it. What does that tell you about how much I used it, honey? You can do so much with it. Again, you can shear it out, build it up, whatever you want to do. These things are just so good. Highly recommend. I'm not going to keep talking, girl, but they are so damn good. Okay, so a couple of favorites for brows from the drugstore. I have the ColourPop Brow Pencil. I use the shade Bangin' Brunette, which I have a few backups in this shade, but I will probably go lighter the next time I purchase, or if I do, because for me, the ColourPop pigmentation, now that I do my brows just a little bit lighter, it is very intense. But guys, like that's like one swipe. Like look at that, bam, you get a lot of color payoff with these. So just something to keep in mind if you like it to be lighter or a more like light waxy type formula, you will not like this. But for me, when I was going for that like really intense like rich payoff type pencil, this has been fantastic. And another one that I really like is the L'Oreal Brow Stylist Definer. This is their ultra fine pen or pencil, and I use it in the shade, or I have the shade Brunette. And this one is, for me, I think a little bit more favorited to the ColourPop one, which for years I never would have said that. But lately, again, this year, I've kind of changed the way I do my brows, and I like them to be a little lighter and a little bit more subdued when I do them. Even today, like the brow pencil I used, I like that it's a little bit lighter, a little bit more natural. And with this pencil, I do feel like that instant pigmentation isn't as intense as with the ColourPop one. For bronzers, honey, we don't even have to hardly sit here for north of about a minute and a half. We have have my BH Brilliance bronzer. I talk about this all the time. I use it a lot. I use it in the shade Golden Gale. I think this is such a beautiful, light, airy freaking formula for a bronzer. The color for me, it's a very, very light shade. It does have a little lilt, a little shimmer in it. It's never anything that's affected me. Like I said, I've went through an entire one. I know a lot of people don't like this formula. Like, it doesn't have the best ratings on Ulta, but for me personally, I've really enjoyed it. And actually, now that I say that, oh my God, somebody mentioned in a comments that, hey Paige, you can't get this at Ulta anymore. And I was like, what the hell? I just bought this at Ulta like not even a month ago. Like, you have to get it. And I'll be damned, I went to the website and this shade is gone, but the other two deeper shades are still there. So I don't know if they're like phasing this out, if it's getting discontinued, I don't know what, but like, I'm not okay with it because I really enjoy this. Now, again, realizing that the reviews aren't the best and that people have a very wishy-washy opinion of this, I wanted to throw in another cult classic favorite, which is something everyone talks about every year, and that is, of course, the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. I wanted to show it to you guys in this form. They actually sent me this in PR, and this is probably the one I use the most. This is their, it's a bronzer palette. It was limited edition, so if it's available, I will link it. If not, I will link just the original butter bronzer itself. Butter bronzer itself comes in several different like variations now, light, you know, regular, there's the original, there's deep, there's sun kissed, there's all these different options. And this little one right here has the light bronzer, the sunset bronzer, and then endless summer. So it had 3 different versions. I of course used light down here the most, and I used it a ton. I was so glad they sent this to me because I loved using this little palette. I would actually use it for eyes and like sculpting out my face. Now, I do have 2 shaping powders that I want to share with you. I use them, well, I use this one a lot. The other one I haven't talked about in a while, so I wanted to throw them both in here. This is the Essence Brighten Up Banana Powder. Obviously, I use this a lot. This is actually the second one of these that I have purchased. I purchased another one, or my original was like a year and a half ago or something like that. Like, I've had this and been using it for a very long time. This is such an amazing, amazing powder. If you're wanting something to brighten up your under eyes, to brighten up or like sculpt out the face, whatever, this is so beautiful. And then the other one I wanted to throw out there is actually from Revlon. This is the Revlon Color Stay Pressed Powder. It's the shade 880 Translucent. If you've been here on my channel for a long time, you will remember me, 100% remember me using this. Just like the Essence, it has a beautiful way of sliding and just moving around on your under eye. If you want to reshape, if you need to brighten, if you need to do anything like that, this has such, oh my God, like the slip and feel of this powder is so, so, so good. But for eyes, I did throw in this completely random product that I use every day, so I have to mention it in this video because I don't even know who I'd be if I didn't, and that is of course the NYX Glitter Primer. Guys, do you see? This thing is like empty, like it should have been empty forever ago. It doesn't even have hardly any writing on the front anymore. I use it a ton. I have multiple backups, and can I just say, I know this video is already long, so like screw it, we might as well just talk, right? I can't tell you how much it means to me when you guys tweet me that you use this or that you Instagram or whatever. The fact that you guys tell me how often you buy this, like it's changed your life when it comes to your shimmers or your, you know, putting glitters or anything on your eyelids, I can't tell you how happy that makes me, because for $5.99 or right around $5, however much this is, first of all, it lasts forever, so that's fantastic. It has beautiful staying power. It's just such an amazing drugstore find. And for so many people like me, I have super hooded eyes. They are very, very inhospitable eyelids. I could not hardly use a shimmer. I couldn't use a glitter. I couldn't use all these other products that everyone could use that were like, oh, let me take my brush, spray my brush and apply that shimmer. That has never worked for me. Like, it doesn't work for those of us that have all kinds of weird ass eyelids. And to find a product years ago that would work for me and something that I could rely on time after time, I've used this for years. It made me feel normal, and it allowed me to create beautiful eye looks and be centered around shimmer again. And I just freaking love it. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and buzz through a couple of highlights. I have one that I haven't talked about on my channel in a very long time, but that I definitely had a love affair with this year, and that is the Physicians Formula Nude Brick. This is their natural nude palette, and it is one of those little bricks, you know, like their shimmer bricks. I get a hell of a lot of use out of this little square right here, honey. This is so, so beautiful. Like, you can create such a beautiful blinding highlight. And then for me, what I like to do, just because you guys know me, I I like to use all my products and be quick and simple about it. I will actually take these bronzy shades over here or even the pinky shades right here and I pop them on my lid. I'll do an all over nice brown. I'll put a little lighter one on the inner corner. I'll do something. ColourPop Horse and Carriage, where you at? Oh my God. This is so beautiful. It's so blinding. I've actually like worn a dent in mine because I use it every single day. It is so blinding. It's over the top. It's like verging on metallic. Oh my God. It's so good. Like I highly, highly recommend this. Y'all, I tell you what, I cleaned off my hand for this. This is their Shimmer and Strobe Highlight Palette. And girl, you want to talk about being blinding ass, delicious looking lady. This is so, so good. I freaking, oh my God, just feeling it. It's like, oh my God. This feels like it should be like squishy. That's how nice and light this feels. Very similar to what I was saying about the Horse and Carriage. It has more of a metallic type ambiance to it. Oh my word. These are so, so beautiful. I love mixing them. Now I know we've all been waiting for it. I'm not going to stay here forever. What is it? Come on, just like say it with me. What is that thing that Paige has talked about all damn year and she hasn't shut up about it because it's absolutely amazing. And it was created in partnership with a YouTuber. Holla at your girl, Pixie Rach Loves palette. You guys, this highlighting palette is life. This is a highlighting palette like I can't imagine not having this in my world. When I first tried this, I was blown away right from the get, and like I have not stopped playing with this in months. It is the one product out of dare I say thousands, that I, like, if I put it away, I immediately go get it again because I can't not have it around me. Even if it's for nothing more, the shade Zipper right here, I also love knit. I'll just swatch it. But the shade Zipper I think is so, so stunning. Obviously, it's a purple shade, so I don't use it on my face because I'm like a very neutral Nelly when it comes to highlight. But that purple shade is so stunning. This is just like, oh, if you said, Paige, one of your top 5 products, top 5 of 2019 out of everything I've talked about, she's coming in hot. Like number 1, number 2, like just way up there. Real quick, 2 mascaras. They don't need a ton of anything as far as explanation goes because I've used them a lot. We have the Lash Paradise mascara that everyone knows and loves. It's been a classic ever since it came out a mere couple of years ago because it's a very nice mascara. And then we have the L'Oreal Voluminous Original Mascara. This is the L'Oreal mascara I used before this one was popular. It's again another cult classic from L'Oreal. It's a really, really beautiful option. Oh my God, you guys. So it's time to talk about lips, and I have an embarrassing amount of drugstore lip products, glosses, sticks, all that stuff. So I'm gonna do my best to just really like, dive into them because it's excessive. But I'm gonna lead us off with a product that needs no introduction. I use them literally every single day. We don't have to talk about them a lot. That is my ColourPop lip liners. Guys, this isn't dramatic. Like I can't be dramatic. I bought the entire collection. They've all been beautiful and creamy. They apply great. They have an amazing finish. They last really, really well. These are the Morphe glosses. I really, really enjoyed these this year. This is the shade Freestyle, which I used a ton. I love this color. Their gloss consistency is a little bit thick, but it doesn't bother me. I do want to throw out there, I have a couple of items that are more on like the like oil type side. The first one actually being the NYX, bear with me, Cannabis Sativa Seed Lip Oil. I really love this stuff. I use it a ton. It's beautiful. It's shiny. This for me is like a no makeup type on the go. It gives you a beautiful glossy look, but it keeps you nice and hydrated. It's not uncomfortable. It's very, very thin, and I reach for it all the time. It's a great lip oil. I also have really liked these. These are from Flower Beauty. They're Petal Pout Lip Masks. It's a beautiful consistency. The quality is really, really nice. They are on the thicker side, more so like a, like what I would say is a Laneige lip sleeping mask, how that's a little bit thicker, but you kind of put it all over. You still get the nice glossiness to it and that like kind of barrier that keeps that hydration in so it doesn't get sucked out through your lips. Now from NYX, I have 2 more options. I'm done swatching things because I'm taking so long, but I have their Slip Tease, NYX Slip Tease collection. Oh my good word, you guys. I fell in love with these. They have a beautiful, beautiful shine. Like I'm talking high gloss, like just everything shiny and sexy and seductive about it. A ton of colors. The opacity is beautiful. And I highly recommend NYX Slip Teases. I think I did last year as well. Same goes for their butter glosses. Oh my God. I have the shade Praline right here. These are so good. If you want a nice drugstore glossy vibe, praline, I can't get enough of it. It's like a nice dark neutral brown, so good. So NYX butter glosses, they also come in a ton of colors. Also, we're gonna shout this one out while I apply a little bit. This is the ColourPop So Juicy Plumping Gloss. This is in the shade Beachwood. Gloss is so beautiful. I love the look and the lilt it gives. I love that it comes in so many colors. It's super affordable. The plumping aspect to it is very minimal. So if you're worried about that, don't be. Again, it's very light. It doesn't even faze me. I barely notice it and I have fibro. So something to consider. The next one I want to mention is the e.l.f. Jelly Pop Juicy Gloss. This came out, I think, in 4 colors with that Dewy Pop or whatever Jelly Pop primer I was talking about. I don't think you need all 4 colors. If you have one, you have them all. I'm probably going to declutter my others just because I'll never get through them before they go bad. But these are a great juicy looking, just like, oh, they're a beautiful, sexy gloss. And then last but certainly not least, something that I fell in love with in 2019 is from Revlon. These are their High Shine, what are these? Ultra HD Vinyl Lip Polishes. I use this color alone, Birthday Suit. This is so good. Anytime I reached for like a glossy, pinky, mauvey type nude, I reached for this because the color is just, oh my God, the color is to die for. The shine is fantastic. It does have a little bit of like, you know, a little gumminess to it. Again, never did it bother me. I typically take this and I'll put it more like on the outskirts of my lips, because if you put it like on the inner portion, like near the, like verging on the butthole rim region of your lips, it can cause a little bit of gumminess or stickiness. With this product, in my opinion, because it has so much opacity anyways, I don't typically build up the color. I use as little as possible. I still get a great payoff, a beautiful gloss, and it's just a beautiful product. Whew, you guys, that concludes my 2019 drugstore favorites. Let me know yours down below. What did you think? Was there anything in here that you tried that you loved, that you didn't love? What were your favorites in general? Anything that I recommended to you that you've tried and that you also enjoyed, let me know all of it down below, because I love hanging out with you down in the comments. So do that. Don't forget, if you haven't checked me out Instagram and on Twitter, you can do that. They will both be linked down below. But most importantly, you guys, if you haven't checked me out, subscribed, and made that commitment, please be sure to do so and turn on your post notifications. I would really appreciate it. I'd love it if you stuck around. I put up 3 new videos a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and they go up bright and early between 6 and 7 a.m. my time here in good old Northern Michigan. But you guys, that is it. Thank you all so much for watching. Please do not forget to have a great day, night, weekend, whatever it is when you're watching this, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Oh my God, guys, I have so much, but how do I start this video with less products and I talk for longer? How? Do you know what it is? It was some damn foundations. The foundations got me. The foundations got me because I love foundation and it happens to me every time. Every time I just get sucked in. Now from NYX, I have a couple more options. Okay. And then of course, one more that what am I scooping? One of my favorite discoveries of 2019. I also have the original Voluminous from, yeah, I'm definitely turning yellow. Whoops, oh well. Okay. All right, guys, time to consult the Libra list. Where are we at here? We did this. So okay. I mean, it might be nice to mention, like, Rachel, hi, I'm your sister slightly to the south. I'm in Michigan, you're in Canada. Like, we could work something out. Like, I'm just saying, if you want to get coffee sometimes, you love coffee, I love coffee, we both love cookies. I'm just saying, it could be a good time of eating cookies and drinking coffee. Not to say you can't do that with some weirdo from Michigan, but like, I'm just saying, I think it could be great.